BXB. It's in the game!
You see, I was just shooting some b-ball outside of the school when a couple of guys who were up to no good came over and handed me a copy of NBA Live 19 on Xbox One and said, "You need to take a look at this basketball game, Ben, and tell everyone what you think about it." And so I said, okay, so here I am, Ben, with another one of my quick reviews for bxbgames.co.uk, and it's NBA Live 19. And in the progression of the NBA Live series from last year, we are continuing along a very similar route here with EA's entry into the Pro Basketball Simulator, available on all major platforms, and of course different to its major competitor from the 2K series of games. And I'll talk about those differences shortly as we get into the review. But first of all, let me say, this game is got what you'd expect. So there is a sort of story mode called The One, as this is kind of the title of this particular entry into the franchise, which is The One Edition, which I think is quite clever because the story is about your character, The One, which is how people refer to him, in hushed tones on social media. And there's also only one edition of the game. EA aren't putting out multitudes of it like their competitors to try and get early access or extra this or extra that. You can only buy one version of NBA Live, and I like that. I like the simplicity of that. You know what you're getting when you purchase this game. You're getting the same as everybody else. Oh, so there is the One mode. This is the story mode. This is the mode in which you are creating a character. You're picking a position to play on the court out of 3 particular options. It's quite simplified. It's quite streamlined. It's actually quite nice for a person who isn't necessarily completely versed in basketball. And I, like most Britons, wouldn't consider myself a basketball expert. I have watched some NBA over the years. I have enjoyed playing it a little bit in high school. I am familiar with the concepts and the rules, though I couldn't say I was up to date with the current situations within the major leagues in America. I'm not that up to date. For example, the team I picked as my favourite team, and which you'll see footage taken of, are the Chicago Bulls. They used to be really good. They're not really good now. So that kind of created an extra level of challenge for me in playing NBA Live 19, being the fact that my franchise of choice wasn't exactly the best. But that's okay. So back to the One mode. In addition to creating that character now, you can create like a home court, which is what you're seeing us play basketball on in this footage. And I went for like black minimalism, and it was like black court and white lines and then black rim. Yeah, why does that matter? It's kind of an unnecessary addition. It's nice in a way that it gives you an extra level of customization and gives you a sense of maybe place and belonging, because you'll return to this various times through the One sort of storyline. However, it's not the major way I played this game. In addition to this mode, there is the Ultimate Team variant, because this is an EA game, and that's where the microtransactions lie in this game. But I'll be happy to say that's the only place they lie. Unlike its competitor, NBA 2K, there is no virtual currency. As you progress through the story, you will get unlocks, you will get random drops, you will get loot, but at no point are you encouraged to use microtransactions to buy your way into the game, which is a really nice difference that sets it apart from the 2K franchise, which is heavy with microtransactions. And it's really good to see that EA has taken on board the recent controversy, has listened to the fans, and have basically excised all of that from the majority of the game. From the elements of the game I play, I don't really dabble in the Ultimate Team variants here that can be found in NBA Live. However, I do play a lot of franchise mode. Now, I find that way more engaging and way more fun to do than the One storyline stuff, because I don't like having to play as only a single player on the court. While it helps you specialise and get knowledgeable with that position that you have chosen to play, I played a point guard, I believe, if that's correct. I think that's the right terminology. Like I said, I'm not the best person for detailed knowledge of basketball rules and regulations. However, I got good at that spot. I got better at it. I understand where I needed to be on the court to maximise my potential scoring opportunities and things of that nature. However, I'd much rather get out there and play as the Chicago Bulls and play all across the court in all the 5 different positions, you know, as and when I'm needed. If I'm going in for a flashy dunk, or if I'm trying to line up a 3-point shot. In whatever mode I played, I sucked in defense. Like, I'm really bad in defense. Basically, if there's a breakaway, I'm usually going to concede a point. However, I'm pretty good on the offense, and I'm good at the steals, and I'm good at the counter attacks. So that worked out nicely. But yeah, I think this game is a really good iteration of NBA Live. I actually like the fact that EA have gone down this route of trying to make their basketball games a bit more simple, a little bit more accessible. You've not got any footage here of the menus, because I wasn't able to capture that. My capture situation didn't enjoy the menus. However, they are a bit cluttered. I think there could be better ways of it being streamlined for you to get into the different game types better, to be able to find that franchise mode, to be able to find the pick up and play online modes. There's a lot of different menus within menus, which is a tiny bit confusing. There is some pretty good training stuff in here as well, if you want to just learn the ropes of the controls and how they relate to the modern game of basketball. I was able to dig into that and stuff and actually learn some of the more nuanced elements of ball dribbling and ball handling, of defense around the post and things like that, which I wouldn't have necessarily understood if I was just playing the game. But I found that there's plenty to do here. The actual physics of the basketball actual experience itself feel good. As is often the case in these sports simulations, the commentary repeats itself way too much, way more than it should, which is just a bit frustrating, but you can kind of forgive it. And one of the things I hate about EA games are their music choices. Oh my god, the menu music is the worst, and I ended up having to mute everything basically. It's just not my type of music. You might really enjoy it, but it feels like it's trying to force a certain type of culture and sort of music genre choice down your throat. So I'd much rather just not have any music at all, or just put Spotify on or something and just ignore that completely. It feels sometimes NBA Live a little bit bare bones. There's a little bit of lack of polish in certain areas, but I had overall a fun experience with this simulation. I liked how much you can alter the difficulty and change different aspects of the game to suit you as a player and your experience levels. But I think this is a great alternative this year to 2K. It's the option that isn't forcing horrible amounts of microtransactions down your throat. And if you find that egregious, which I think most of us do now, I think a lot of people will be picking up NBA Live over 2K just for that reason. But even if you do get into this game just for that reason, be sort of assured in the fact that this is a good basketball simulation which has a lot of fun elements to it. So I'm going to give NBA Live 19 a very, very happy 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.